I'm sorry, was that?
You want to give some opening thoughts?
Tip your head off to Georgetown. They battled. It's pretty much what I expected. Ed Cooley's one of the better coaches around, someone I really respect in our profession. I wish we could have put Jaden Epps in a box and kept him off the court. He had some big time shots, but I was really pleased with how our guys competed. This is what we need. This is the reason why we play games like this in a non-conference, because going into the Patriot League, this is it's going to pay dividends.
Coach, talk about switching your defenses. You did it liberally, diamond, 1-2-2, I think 2-2-1 maybe, full court man, zone. You were trying to keep them off guard. Talk about that.
Yeah, we got some really good individual players, in particular Styles and Epps. We just felt we had to do some things to keep them off balance and hope that we can guard the last 12 seconds or so of the shot clock. That was the impetus behind that. And that's something that we work on. It's going to be a part of our DNA. We still got a ways to go with that. But that was the thought process behind it, trying to keep them off balance and off kilter a little bit.
How'd you get up, Ken, and how did they get back in the game afterward?
The game of basketball is so crazy, man. Matt Mayock hadn't made a shot the entire game. He hit a big time three, get a little momentum, and then because you're playing hard, ball bounces away sometimes. Matt Rogers got an offensive rebound, a putback, or something like that. So that was pretty much it. And I thought we executed. I thought we put them in ball screens. Once we saw Eli. Eli's a magician with the basketball. Elijah Stevens, and we pretty much. I think that was a big part of us getting that lead. We controlled the tempo a little bit. Ball was in his hands, and he got the ball to the right people at the right time.
On the Epps 3, did you want the foul, and was it their action that didn't allow you to foul?
Yeah, a little bit of that. We did want to foul. He got loose. We were in a little bit of zone. We probably should have been in a man-that situation. Just switched everything, but the idea was to foul. So I was a little surprised that Matt got out there and closed out. And didn't foul right away. Maybe he felt because he had already caught it. He was by the 3-point line. He didn't want to foul him, but that was the thought process.
And then with your team, you came in with it's a new voice, it's a new style. Yet this team looked like they've adapted to you so quickly. Just what are the good things that came out of today's game that shows the progress that this roster has made?
I think we took a few punches throughout the course of this game, and when I first got this job, that was my biggest concern, over watching a number of their games and just, will they be able to take a punch? And we got some tough guys, emotionally, mentally, and that was the biggest takeaway from today, was the fact that we can take punches, and when you can do that, you're gonna be able to win games on the road. You'll be able to go and play anywhere at any time, and more importantly for us, that'll help us to hopefully win a Patriot League championship.
Along those lines, the pressure that they started kind of applying to you around the under 4 or so, how did you feel like you adapted to that? Just certainly on the inbound passes and whatnot.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Jeff is taking pretty good care of the basketball. I thought he probably got caught a little bit too deep, and I was on the verge of calling the timeout. And that's the other thing we talk about, things I learned, like our guys. I'm learning more about our guys, but I'm learning too. I would go back right now as a first time head coach. I would go back and do 5 or 6 different things different down the stretch. I'm gonna be better for it. I told my team I'll take this because I think I could have done some things to help put them in position to win, and that's my job. So just gotta get better with that.
And how much, you guys were in a spot, playing a Big East team to start the season. How much different is this team now 2 weeks later, just in terms of its development?
I think we're making shots more. That's one of the difference. I think we got some very good shots at Villanova. The same shots that we got last game against NJIT, we make 13 threes. We got the same shots at Villanova. Obviously it's a difference in length and athleticism. Villanova's a team I think it's going to be an NCAA tournament team. But yes, this is invaluable for us. The experience that we're going to get against teams like this at this level, there's no doubt about it.
John Titel from Hoops HD. This is your first close game of the year. As somebody who's played for a couple of local legends like Morgan Wooten and Gary Williams, I was curious if any of them gave you advice about the most important factor to the outcome of a close game.
Make free throws. Coach Wooten was always big on that. Ball security and making free throws. Coach Williams is just playing as hard as you possibly can to the very end. And I thought we did that, man. We did that for the majority of the game, and that ball didn't bounce your way a couple times.
Coach, talk about your Mid-Atlantic select duo of Ball and Rogers. Rogers' skill level has really improved since he was in high school. He's a force for you. And Ball is like a really good point forward for you. He kind of makes it quarterbacks it in a half court and is an efficient player.
Yeah, both of those guys provide a toughness for us, and that's their true value. I mean, obviously Matt, we're playing through him in the middle. I saw him as a high school as well. He's grown, and that's what college kids are supposed to do. Year by year, they get better and better. We're going to put him in positions where he's going to be able to utilize his strength inside and also his shooting ability outside. And Lincoln's just one of those guys, man. Like, you wish you had 4 or 5 of them on your team. Where he's going to do so many things that don't show up in the stat sheet. And one of the biggest things that I value about players is toughness, and he's got that in spades.
Coach, you were held without a field goal over the last 4 minutes of overtime. How does that? How do you fix that moving forward? Where you get better looks, or just get them to fall late in games?
I think that's going to be, incumbent on me to learn and get an idea of, like, in the moment what's going to work best for our team. I got to go off the play sheet and say, hey, based off the way Georgetown is playing, this is how we got to do it. There's no experience. There's no substitute for experience. And now that I've been through it, I think this is going to help me as a coach. I think our guys got some decent looks. But they could have gotten better ones. And again, that's on me.